I'm going to talk about the Kurzweil KaP1 digital piano in a way that actually helps you decide if it's the right fit, not just a list of specs. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What most buyers worry about when they're looking at a portable piano is whether they'll get that authentic piano feel without having to haul a heavy instrument around, and whether the sound quality will hold up when you move from a bedroom practice session to a small live setting. The KaP1 promises a full-weighted hammer action and a decent selection of voices, but the real question is if those promises translate into everyday value, or if you end up paying for a feature set that you'll never really use. First off, the hammer action keyboard is where the KaP1 tries to differentiate itself from the sea of budget keyboards. The keys feel noticeably heavier than the typical synth-style keys you find on entry-level models. If you've ever spent time on a real acoustic piano, you know that the resistance of each key contributes to muscle memory and dynamic control. In my own daily routine, 10 minutes of scales before work, a half hour of chord progressions while cooking, and occasional improvisation during a live stream, the weighted action makes the transition to an actual piano feel smoother. It's not a perfect replica of a concert grand, but for the price range, it gives you a tactile experience that keeps your fingers from getting lazy. The voice library is another practical point. Kurzweil lists 28 hand-picked factory instruments and a polyphony of 256 notes. In practice, the most useful sounds are the classic grand piano, a mellow electric piano, and a couple of strings for pad work. I used the grand piano voice for a YouTube tutorial on jazz voicings, and the sustain and resonance behaved well enough that the recording didn't sound synthetic. When I switched to the electric piano for a lo-fi beat, the tone retained the warmth you'd expect from a Rhodes-type sound without the thin, digital edge. The other 26 voices are mostly niche harpsichord, organ, a few synth leads that most players will never touch unless they're specifically looking to experiment with genre-bending arrangements. So, if you're after a versatile workhorse for piano-centric practice, you'll get the most out of the KaP1 by focusing on the core piano and electric piano patches. Connectivity is where the KaP1 shines for modern setups. The built-in Bluetooth audio and MIDI let you stream backing tracks straight from your phone or tablet, which is a lifesaver when you don't have a laptop on hand. I've used it in a small coffee shop gig. I paired my phone, loaded a YouTube chord progression, and the piano stayed in sync without any noticeable latency. The USB audio and MIDI ports also mean you can record directly into a DAW without needing an external interface. I connected it to Ableton Live, recorded a simple piano demo, and the audio came through cleanly at 24-bit resolution. For anyone who streams, records, or just likes to keep a digital archive of their practice, those ports eliminate a lot of extra gear. Now, let's talk about the practical downsides. The first thing that trips people up is the size of the included stand, the STC1 Chrome stand. It's sturdy enough for home use, but it's not designed for quick disassembly. If you travel frequently, you'll find the stand adds a decent amount of bulk, and you'll have to reassemble it each time you set up in a new space. The piano itself is relatively lightweight for an 88-key instrument, but the combined weight with the stand and power supply pushes you into the 30-pound range. That's manageable for a car trunk, but not ideal for a backpack-style gig. Another trade-off is the speaker system. The KaP1 comes with built-in speakers that are adequate for a bedroom or small rehearsal room, but they lack the punch you'd expect in a larger venue. I tried the piano in a medium-sized classroom, and the sound began to feel thin beyond a couple of rows. If you plan to rely on the onboard speakers for any kind of performance, you'll quickly want a pair of external monitors or headphones. Speaking of headphones, the headphone jack works well and isolates the sound nicely, which is a plus for late-night practice in an apartment building. Battery life is often a hidden concern for portable keyboards, and the KaP1 doesn't ship with an internal battery, only a power supply. That means you're tethered to an outlet, which limits true portable usage. If you need a piano for outdoor sessions or places without reliable power, you'll have to invest in an external power bank that can handle the AC adapter's draw, adding another expense and piece of gear to manage. So, who should consider buying the Kurzweil KaP1? If you're a serious hobbyist or a semi-professional who wants a realistic weighted feel without the cost of a full-size acoustic piano, And you also need Bluetooth and USB connectivity for modern workflow. The KaP1 hits a sweet spot. It's especially appealing for teachers who want a reliable instrument too.